Hi, this is a review of the order trading system activity for January the 24th, 2021. We had 17 trades on that day, 16 were buys, and one was a short sell. And first trade was ASML, and my charting is not working too well on my application today, so we're going to be using Google Finance, so that's ASML. That's ASML Holdings. NV tripped at 11:56:28 a.m. at a price of 659.17. It was a short sell, the short sell for the day, and it closed at 687.42. As you can see, it recovered, even though it was still down 7.31%. Excuse me, it was down 1.05% yesterday, and it's down 7.31% early morning, so it actually still dropping. But let's see, 11:30, 11:56. So roughly around this area, it tripped. 6:56. And so when did it come up again above 6:59? See, it came up. So roughly around 104 is what it's showing again. That's somewhat coming up above, but you can see it did drop down below here, 657, 658. So there's actually multiple drops here. Probably a good around 104 from 11:56. Just talking a good hour here, probably 15-20 minutes, 15-20 minutes there. So we had multiple trades that were, multiple points in the day where it was tripping on a regular basis. So that's a positive. We'll check the indicator for that and go back to the first screen. It's going to be a long one because we have so many stocks that traded on that day. Volume showed that it had come down, but you can see this recovery at the end of the day, which the stock price itself was showing. MACD came down and recovered at the end of the day. Same thing, DI actually showed you it recovered much more earlier, and this is actually much more in line with actually what we see on the price. Yeah, see the price started coming up roughly around early afternoon, and we're seeing that right here. Early afternoon it started to come up and just So if we look at this, DI is actually showing that it was actually more positive than negative, but a big negative when it did trip. And Bollinger Band basically showing that price activity did show that it had come down early afternoon and sideways a little bit, and then the end of the day is where it recovered, started recovering with the activity of the other indicators showing that it was starting to move a little bit positive, and then you can see at the end of the day, it's because it's continuation, it kept going, but the stock itself is dropping again today, so I don't know what that tells you. Next trade is FANG. And that's Diamondback Energy Incorporated. It tripped at 12:10:01 p.m. at a price of 112.50. It was a buy. It closed the day at 119.42, so that's another positive. And indicators look good. OBV shows that it did come up in the afternoon. MACD came up and maintained the averages up in the afternoon, which is good. DI came up also in the afternoon, pretty much stabilized, came up. Bollinger Band showed in the afternoon, it just came up, so that stock ended moving positive, or was positive stock. Next trade is BBL. Excuse me. BBL. NASDAQ. There's BBL. BBL. New York. I can't find the stock I'm looking for. I'm looking for something on the NASDAQ. BBL, $63. And nothing here. Just my luck, I can't find it. BBL. Bone, Benjamin. Okay, Google is not showing me the stock, so we'll forgo that one. And like I said, BBL, well, I can't tell you if it's positive or negative because I don't know what stock it is. Well, let's take a look at Yahoo. Maybe Yahoo will show us the correct stock. BBL. And I don't know what stock this is. NASDAQ. No, yeah, this is the stock. And it's... Okay, I'm not sure. My system is indicating that it was NASDAQ. Or excuse me, I've been showing NASDAQ. That might be not right. Okay, 64.50. Okay, so this looks to be correct. It's in line with the price range. It did close above the tripping price. So that's another positive. You could see it was down yesterday, 0.32%. It's down 0.49% today, but you know, it was making a recovery, I guess, yesterday. Yeah, you see in the afternoon period it came up on volume. MACD came up and stayed up. DI came up, a little bit of back and forth, but mostly positive. DI, Bollinger Bands on that stock. Stock looks like it was moving positive. This is NVDA. I assume that's NVIDIA. Just get rid of some of these. NVDA, NVIDIA. Yeah, that seems to be the right one. NASDAQ, that one's showing NASDAQ. Okay, so it is NVIDIA. Tripped at 1:55:01 p.m. at a price of 227.70, and it closed the day at 233.72. Was down yesterday 0.0086%. And it's down 5.70%. Well, it's hard to say. Google has a strange outline. It's showing that it's down 0.02%, but down here, oh, pre-market. Okay, well, pre-market showing that it's down 2.6%. Okay. Anyways, it did recover yesterday. And we'll take a look at the indicators. Volume looks good, moving up in the afternoon. MACD came up, stabilized. DI came up in the afternoon, stayed up, and Bollinger Bands showed in the afternoon it did come up. So that stock did end the day moving positive. Next trade is AMD. It looks like another video company. AMD. That's Micro Devices. It is. It tripped at 1:55:08 p.m. at a price of 112.83, and it closed the day at 116.53, which shows that it's up. But it's strange because it's down. Like the markets are down, but the stocks are actually going. I'm assuming they opened up bad and then they started to recover. So take a look at this indicator. Okay, volume looks like it's pretty good all during the time that it was monitored. DI looks good, going up, stay up and up, so that's good. DI shows it's consistently up. Bollinger Band shows up, so that stock definitely was moving positive. Oh, I'm sorry, that was NVIDIA. That's NVIDIA. Alright, sorry, I got myself out of whack here. Well, 1355.40. Oh, sorry. Somehow these two stocks got themselves backwards. Anyways, NVIDIA and AMD were both showing technically the same kind of movement. Okay, so next trade is DE. DE. Deere and Company. Tripped at 1:55:40 p.m. at a price of 356. It was a buy, and it closed the day at 364.03, down 0.69%, 0.25% early today. So it's dropping again today, strangely enough. So that's another positive. Take a look at the indicators. Okay. Volume looks like it's okay in the afternoon, which is where it tripped. It shot up. MACD came up in the afternoon. DI came up in the afternoon. Wait a minute. This is starting to show that maybe the market opened up down yesterday and then recovered in the afternoon. Next trade is GPK. And here, 1889. Most likely it's this one, Graphic Packaging Holding Company. It tripped at 3:17:22 p.m. at a price of 18.89. It closed the day at 19.02, up 1.77%. So that's another positive. Check the indicators. Okay. Okay, so volume looks like it's okay in the afternoon. It came up, started going up. MACD came up and somewhat stabilized and maintained its averages. DI came up. A little bit of a drop here mid-afternoon, but then recovered again. Bollinger Band, same thing, came up. That's this little drop here where you see negative going. Not so much in what negative in price, but you can see it was probably activity-wise starting to go down a bit, which was causing somewhat a sideways movement here, which is good because at least if it doesn't bring it down, then it's not affecting the stock too much. And then it recovered today. So that stock ended the day moving positive. Next trade is BSX. BSX. X. And BSX. Trade 42.22. It looks like it's both scientific. Okay. So that is Boston Scientific Corporation, tripped at 3:25:22 p.m. at a price of 42.22. It was a buy. It closed the day at 42.66, so that's another positive. We'll check it was down 0.72%, down 0.31% early morning. So, excuse me again. Make sure I'm on the right one. 325.25. Yep, 325. Okay. Volume looks good. Came up in the afternoon. MACD came up, stabilized, came up. DI came up. That little bit of backward side, somewhat like the last stock where we had this little bit of drop. We had some negative movement. It did drop here a little bit, but you see in the day recovers. The stock also ended the day moving positive, or was moving positive in general. Next trade is NWL, Newell Brands Incorporated. I think it's, well, I don't know. At 23.15. Yeah, it looks like it's this price seems to line up. So it looks like it is Newell Brands Incorporated. Okay, it tripped at 325.31 at a price of 23.15. It was a buy. It closed the day at 23.41, so that's another positive. Check the indicators. $325.31. Yep, that's the right one. Okay, volume up. MACD came up multiple times. MACDI came up, stable, and so DI. Again, same type of thing. We have this like a little bit of negative activity in the mid-afternoon, which Bollinger Band is showing that it was moving down again. So you see the bands are constricting, which kind of like shows you that it's starting to become more negative, I guess, in its movements. And then at the end they move positive. Stock definitely was moving positive. End of the day moving positive. Next trade is LOW. LOW and 229.28, 229.28. The one that's closest to it is this one. So that's Lowe's Company. Tripped at 3:25:38 p.m. at a price of 229.28. It was a buy. Closed the day at 232.35, up 3.26% and up 7.33% early morning. So that's another positive. Excuse me. Take a look at the indicators. Make sure I'm on the right one. 325.38, 325.38, right one. Okay, volume not too bad. Shows it came up actually early afternoon and basically maintained, stabilized. MACD came up, dwindled off a little bit. It came up at the end of the day. DI, same thing, came up a little bit negative again. It seems like we're hitting a common occurrence here where you have stock that is moving positive, but this little bit of negative activity in the mid-afternoon occurs. Bollinger Band, same thing, came up a little bit sideways, downward movements, and then recovers. So stock also ended the day moving positive. Next trade is NUE. NUE. Okay, NUE 93.81. Closest one is this one, so it's probably this one. This is Nucor Corporation. Tripped at 3:26:17 p.m. at a price of 93.81. It was a buy. Closed the day at 95.31, up 2.43% and up 2.26% early morning, so it's another positive. And we'll check the indicators. 3:26:17, 3:26:17. Yep. So volume looks good. It's the afternoon, consistently moving upwards on a good amount. MACD is up. It came down, but the period where we caught it, which is where it was late afternoon or late, well, not late afternoon, but the second part of the afternoon it started to come. That's where it tripped. It was moving up. And DI, same thing, came up. Same sort of thing here. We're seeing this little bit of negative activity in the mid-afternoon, and Bollinger Band shows that it was basically moving somewhat positive, and mid-afternoon somewhat sideways, and closing the day moving positive again. Next trade is UA. UA and 1636. Closest one is this one. Okay, so that's Under Armour Incorporated, Class C. Tripped at 3:26:18 p.m. at a price of 16.36. It closed the day at 16.50, up 2.55% and up 0.41% early morning. So that's another positive. 12. check the indicators for this. Yep, that's the right one. Volume bouncing back and forth, but you can see the afternoon, mid to late afternoon period moving upwards. MACD, same thing. We're only seeing a portion of the graph here because my system grabs data potentially during the day, not complete day. So we happen to see the stock looks like it was caught in the afternoon period and started monitoring. MACD shows that the afternoon came up. DI shows that it was pretty much coming up. And the same type of thing here. We see this little bit of negative movement in the mid-afternoon. Well, same thing. So stock ended the day moving positive, but even had a bit of a drop mid-afternoon. Next trade is UNP. And 242, 245. One that's closest to it is this one. So that is Union Pacific Corporation, and it tripped at 3:27:23 p.m. at a price of 242.30. Closed the day at 245.10, down 0.50% and down 1.23%. I don't know if that's actually percent. It says 1.23. That might be actually be monetary value there. Yeah, it's down anyways. Early morning it's down. But anyways, yesterday ended its day moving positive, probably because this point here where it was moving somewhat sideways and the day moved positive. So we're probably seeing that same kind of activity that we've seen for the other stocks there, where it ended the day moving positive but had a bit of a negative activity in the afternoon. OBV shows just somewhat of a good positive. MACD not too bad. Again, I caught this stock late, but again, the afternoon showing that it's down. DI is actually showing you, yes, again, mid-afternoon, a little bit negative, and then move positive. Volume band, yeah. So the stock ended the day moving positive, even though it did have that little drop in the mid-afternoon. Next trade is PLUG. PLUG. Okay. 2022. Closest one is this one. That's Plug Power Incorporated. That tripped at 3:30:01 p.m. at a price of 2022. It closed the day at 2070, so that's another positive. Sorry, let's do that again. 20. Okay, yeah. Closed the day at 2070. Down 1.71%, down 0.36%. I don't know if that's percent or actually monetary value, but it is down both yesterday and today, even though it did trip a positive activity. So let's have a look-see at the excuse me, at the price activity. 3:30:01, 3:30:01. Yep, okay. Volume looks good. Volume consistently moving up. MACD actually, yeah. Well, the afternoon is where I caught it, so I caught it moving up here, but this little bit of drop in the mid-afternoon. DI showing a bit differently. DI showing that it's maintained its positive movement, even though there's a little bit of almost a one-on-one with positive negative activity here, which probably would show a sideways movement, which is Boiler Man is actually showing it moving sideways in the mid-afternoon and then recovering in the end of the day. So the stock ended the day moving positive too. Next trade is FITB. And 45.22, 45 to 48. My guess is this one because it's the closest in price. Fifth Third Bank Corp. Tripped at 3:35:16 p.m. at a price of 45.22. It was a buy. Closed the day at 45.48, up 0.98% and up 0.44. Money or percent, I don't know what that is, but it is up both yesterday and early morning here. So that's another positive. And we'll check the indicators. Just aligning to make sure I'm on the right one. Yep, that's the right one. Volume, not too much. A little bit of jumpy here in the afternoon, which obviously in my system, there's enough to trip it. And MACD showed that it was pretty much consistently moving up. So averages were moving up okay. DI looks like it's bouncing back and forth. Negative, positive, negative, positive. So this kind of like indicates almost a sideways activity. It ended the day moving positive though. Bollinger Band, down, up, down, up. Bollinger Band's kind of like moving, following the up-down activity type of thing. Again, ended the day moving positive. So, and again, that little that little bit of negative activity here in the mid-afternoon occurred again on this stock. So, we seem to be following a trend. Next trade is MDT. MDT. 103.92, 103.92 is probably the closest one. Medtronic, medical company, tripped at 3:40:30 p.m. at a price of 103.92. It closed the day at 104.21, down 1.32%, down 1.39% today. I'm going to assume that's percentage. It doesn't seem like it's down money-wise, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. But anyways, it's still a positive because it ended the day above its tripping point. And we'll check the indicators. 340, 340.31. Yep. Okay, not too bad. Volume looks like consistently moving up all afternoon. MACD shows it came up, drop here in the mid-afternoon, up again. DI same thing, up, bit of negativity in the afternoon, and up again. Bollinger Band, good that basically just a little drop and move up. So that stock ended the day moving positive. Next trade is IP. IP. 47.91, 48. This looks to be the closest one. So that's International Paper Company. It tripped at 3:40:49 p.m. at a price of 47.91. Closed the day at 48.23, up 1.99%, up 0.94 early morning percent their money. Don't know what that is, but anyways, that's another positive. And we'll check the indicators. Volume not too much. You can see in the afternoon it did come up, which is where it tripped, but up, down, up, down. MACD same thing, came up, then dropped, and ended the day somewhat mid-afternoon to late afternoon, and more rising. Same thing, DI came in afternoon. Okay. So there's another stock that performed the same kind of operation. Just looking at the activity for the stocks today, we see there was a consistency where there was a recovery end of day, but mid-afternoon it seemed to be that there was a bit of a downward trend. So the market yesterday probably entered the day opened up negative, started to move positive, and then moved negative mid-afternoon, and then finished the day moving positive. Almost like a W pattern. So anyways, that's not too bad. That's 17 out of 17 stocks. That's 100%, which I was surprised to get that on such a high activity trade yesterday, but we can see that it kind of looks like some recovery was being made yesterday, which is good because the stocks themselves ended up being positive across the board. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.